Hello, Gemini. Welcome to your June 2025 reading. My name is Nigel, and you have found alchemy. Okay, let's get started right away. I don't know if you sat and watched the shuffle and layout, but regardless, these cards were pre-pulled from your spring 2025 reading. As I promised during that reading, I re-pulled them, and we're building a reading around them to really delve into your month a little bit more substantially here. So let's look at this. You did pull, let's just take this first. You did pull a card of self-care. So maybe care is needed. Maybe you need to think about yourself more. We're going to look at this. I'm going to go over these cards a little bit. I mean, if you really want to go into it a little further, you could go back, listen to that reading for June, just the tail end of it, and listen to the June part. But I'll go over it a little so this way you don't have to do that if you don't want to. You do have a very interesting card. I don't know if you watched me lay out the cards for the spring reading, but this is a massive deck. There's like 3 or 4 tarot decks in it, and aside from being large in size, it's just massive. So for you to choose this card, I find very interesting. This is a card called Prudence, and it looks very Geminian, doesn't it? So this card is a number 12, and it stands in between temperance and strength, yet it sort of stands apart from the Hanged Man. The Hangman usually sits here alone, and this is sort of an alternative version. But I can't help but think this stands on its own. So Prudence here, right? Very Geminian. A duality card, very much like Gemini as far as I'm concerned. Look at the depiction. One looks one way, the other looks the other way. Could be making decisions about something. Because this is the card of Prudence, care is required. Care. I like that. Yeah. Care is required. Spirit is telling you care is required. I think you kind of know that somehow instinctually. At least you will this month. You have, to start this off, you have here the 8 of Swords coming in reverse. Jupiter and Gemini energy. You're no longer held back by something here. And this is your overarching energy. Meant to say enemy. It almost came out of my mouth, so that's interesting. Okay, we'll keep that sort of to the side. So you're no longer held back by either self-imposed or perceived outside limitations. You then pulled the Hierophant. And the Hierophant, as we know, is Taurian energy. A grounded commitment. Now, is this commitment to yourself? Are you recommitting to yourself? Are you recommitting to another person? Or recommitting to a situation? This is also the card of help. You could be receiving help from a higher authority, right? A knowledgeable source. Now, your advice here is the 4 of Cups. And, the 4 of Cups is Moon in Cancer. You can tell that the person on this card is sort of not paying attention, not paying enough attention, not looking at what's being offered to him. And I do think that gratitude comes into this. I did go into that pretty heavily in the other reading. And also, aside from the fact that you should feel grateful for this help or for whatever good does happen to you here, Gemini, I do think you should need to pay more attention to the offers. There's some kind of offer here, choice here. And you need to really pay attention. Don't half-ass look at anything. Not this month, okay? When we add all this energy up and we break it down, we get the number 11, which is a cardinal number, an initiator of sorts. I always look at the 11 like a bridging number and then the coming together of 2 things. So definitely starting out here, very interesting, as usual, right, Gemini? All right, so now you have the Mars card, and this is the card of Aries, number 5 in this deck. Assertive energy. Right? And it could, in some instances, be very warlike, but it's strength that should be kept in check. So if you come off a certain way, it could be the atmosphere around you that's bringing a sort of assertive energy out. There's a delicate balance here between being assertive and being argumentative, pushy. So you need to form a delicate balance. And as I'm saying that, I'm looking at this Justice card that balance the scales. So really balance this out. You did pull 2 of these cards, unlike the other readings I have done, at least so far. And you have the Benevolent Guide. And the Benevolent Guide is number 57 in this deck. Inner Voice. A very strong indication of a great inner compass this month. Or perhaps it's this Hierophant outside energy, a guide that is extremely helpful. If you have someone like this in your life, take them very seriously. Take that what they say to you very seriously. Listen to your inner compass if you feel like it's clicking this month. But there is a guide here on your side, whether it's external or internal, and something that you can use to keep this assertive energy in check. But I do like this combination. It's a very good combination for you here, Gemini. And it really isn't a surprise why you chose 2 cards. You're Gemini, right? So you have the Temple here. And the Temple is number 39 in this deck. And it's a sanctuary, a shrine, right? And that's a call to re-examine what you pay homage to on a daily basis. What do you pray to, right? Is it your phone, right? Look at the modern day things that we place on our altar, our phone, social media, money, material goods. Could be a person. Perhaps there is room on your altar for something better, something healthier. This is something you should really consider. Something more spiritual. If there isn't any room, make some. That's what you're being told. Consider your temple, your body, your altar, and what you pay homage to. Because something tells me that what you're paying homage to doesn't add to your self-care. If that makes sense to you. This could be a toxic person in your life. It could be a toxic relationship, a toxic job. It could be overdosing on social media and scrolling yourself to death. Could be anything like that. I mean, it's going to be different for all of you, right? I'm looking at these cards here, so I mean, yeah, for sure. But I don't want to jump ahead. You do have the Justice card, as I mentioned, and this is pure Libra energy. What I like about this card, at least in this deck, in this Rider deck, is that she is not blind. She has nothing across her eyes. She sees very clearly. She has her scale. She has her sword. Very interesting energy, because not all Lady Justices look like that. And in this particular reading, this could be a legal situation. It could represent the law, and if so, a favorable outcome, something that you find fair in some way. It could be a truth. It could be accountability on some level. Accountability, a balance restored, some sort of balance restored. Well, now this is interesting. You have here the voodoo doll. And I have to tell you, very few people pull this card. When I say very few, I mean very few. I don't know why it doesn't come out much, but it came out this month for Sagittarius. And it has come out this month for you. So you may have Sagittarius highly aspected in your chart. Hold on one second. Let me refocus this. Oh, it refocused. Great. Doesn't always do that, Gemini. You may have a Sagittarian in your life that is very important. Or it could just be your mutability, right? Sagittarius and Gemini are both mutable signs. And it could be the fact that you're able to change. I mean, listen, you have that very Geminian card. It could be working in your favor this month. Your ability to see things from all angles and sort of change direction pretty effortlessly, right? But you have this. Oh, wait, now, before I don't want to just skim right over this. Aside from the Sagittarian thing, it is a freaking voodoo doll, okay? So somebody wishes bad on you. Like, there could be someone actually using magic against you during this time if you have people like that in your life. And to be honest with you, it's not always easy to tell, right? They don't always look the way you think they're going to look. Sometimes they smile to your face. Sometimes they're nurses, doctors, it's lawyers. It could be anyone. Now, with that said, it doesn't necessarily have to be magic. It could just be bad energy. It could be someone wishing bad on you, wishing negativity on you. Could be a legal situation. Could be. But there is someone here in the background, and this is not good energy here, Gemini. And I don't just deliver great readings, because if I did, my readings would be valueless. Just remember that. If you look at a reader and every single title is something amazing, and every reading is great to the point where there's no bad news ever, it's useless. I mean, I don't get it. But the point is, and I'm not saying this is a bad reading because I don't see it that way, but you are being warned. For sure, there is a warning attached to this reading. And so this voodoo doll is a warning, and so is this. There is something you are bound to here, right? That is not good for you. It is not good for you. It's a toxic tie. It is an entanglement. It is something negative that is in your energy, that has a hold on you, that is attached somehow to this voodoo doll. All right? Just saying. Very fascinating reading. You're always the best. You're always the most interesting reading. So here we go. Okay, we're going to really dive into this because now I'm personally invested in it. Now, just so you know, your letters this month are R, J, I, and W. Could be someone's initials, could be a place, listen, it could be anything. It could be the name of a gym, a restaurant, a street, an airport. So just keep these very broadly in mind. And one of them or all of them by the end of the month will mean something to you here. Gemini, for sure. Okay. Now, before we get into the cards, being that we read these charms, I'm going to go on this side and read these charms because these charms are literally unbelievable. They go so well with these cards. So you have the 10 of Swords as a charm in the upright, right? This isn't something that happened in the past. This is something that's happening now, or something that will happen this month. The 10 of Swords, someone stabs you right in the back. That is Mercury and Gemini energy. It is the end of a situation. If that matters to you, it is definitely the ending of a bad situation, but someone is working against you here. There is just no doubt. There's too many signs here, and I'm going to get to more right now. You have the snake that's entwined here with the money charm. And the reason I'm jumping ahead is because it's all of these are entwined with this money charm. But there is a snake attached to this situation. There is a snake, and I think you're well aware of which snake it might be. But there is and the reason I'm saying that is because it is not upside down. If you are not aware of who this is, you're going to be made aware of it. It's not going to stay in the shadows for long. Now, you are very hopeful about something here. You have the white rose. This is something that you're very hopeful about. You're not, and that's no secret. But I have to tell you, not only do you have the 10 of Swords, you also have this earring. And this earring, especially when it's in reverse, is a very big sign that someone is deceiving you. Someone is lying to you. Someone is stabbing you in the back, behind your back. That it's upside down. So this is something you're not aware of. You're going to be made aware of it, I believe, by the end of the month. This has something to do with money. Okay? This definitely has something to do with money. Maybe it's hidden money because this is upside down. All right. And it would be ridiculous for me to try to unravel this because it's for such a broad audience, but it has something to do with money. There is a snake involved, something you're hopeful about. But man, these two charms together, especially with these two cards, you have someone seriously working against you here, Gemini. And I'm not trying to scare you, but you need to be made uber aware of this. Now, I'm glancing down here. All right, I don't want to jump ahead too much because it makes everything confusing, but hang in there, okay? Because we need to see how this ends. Now, there is a benevolent person here in your life, because remember we talked about the Hierophant and the benevolent guide. You have these two cards, and these are the cards of someone around you that is what is going on in their head. Okay. We have friendly. I'm approaching with nothing but kindness. There is someone approaching you with kindness. And then there is tribe. It says, we seem very aligned in a lot of ways. You're my kind of people. So there is someone that considers you part of their tribe. There is someone that aligns with you in some way. There is someone that is aligned with you, that is part of that is definitely a benevolent, good, supportive energy. Okay. So you have this amazing supportive energy, but you have this dark energy that's also working here in the background. So let's pick these up and do these one at a time. You have your intuition here, sixth sense, intuition, subconscious. Your intuition will kick in. I mean, we talked about that a little bit in one of these piles. I remember saying it. Your spidey sense is going to tingle. All right. Your self-care is going to kick in, but you are being warned here to really keep your surroundings in check. Question everything, even if it's not outwardly. Okay. You have something here. It says ending. Yeah. There's always a new opportunity ahead. You may, yeah, I mean, listen, this is an ending. This is a skull. This is scorpionic energy. There is something ending. We talked about this with the Ten of Swords and the upright. Something's coming to an end. And damn it, thank God it's coming to an end. Honestly, it's should come to an end. There is an ending here on the table, and you have roots of stability. Ground yourself in what nurtures your well-being, establishing a stable base from which love and career can bloom. Roots of stability, self-care. Think about yourself. There's something going on here. You have to really be careful. Prudence is required. Prudence is required. You have a bridge. It says connecting pathways, overcoming divides. I believe this is a bridge to another situation, another place. You're crossing a bridge. You're going from, and we talked about 11 being that bridging number, right? Going from one to another. 11 is the bridge. Very, very fascinating. Now, I'll tell you what else is fascinating, Gemini. Now, you're only the third reading in this series that I'm doing so far, but you are the third sign that has pulled their own energy, which is really very odd. It's very odd. So June is an interesting month, I think, for many of us, right? Sagittarius, which we talked about being there's some sort of Sagittarian energy here for you. Aquarius and Gemini all pulled their own energy in some way. But here you have the Gemini energy, and it's no, it's, what's interesting is you do have number 3 here, right? Gemini, the twins. You pulled your own card. Your own card. So aside from the fact that it is an indicator that this is indeed your reading, right? And we've had a few of them here. There is a time frame until June 20th, right? June 20th starts Cancer season technically, right? So until June 20th, there is a time frame here on the table that's very important to you. So keep that in mind. It is Gemini season that is here on the table, okay? You have square, and that doesn't really shock me. It says competition, tension, disharmony. You are squaring off with someone here, whether you realize it or not. And here you have the sign of Sagittarius again. And I'm not saying Sagittarius is the culprit. Sagittarius could actually be, it could be any of the things we said, right? It could be someone having a highly aspect. It could be this Hierophant character, even though that is Taurian, could be that benevolent guide could be a Sagittarius. So let's keep an open mind. But it says adventurous, free, and philosophical, right? Now, it does pay to mention here, Gemini, that there is a full moon in Sagittarius in June, on June 11th. So that sort of condenses the time even further. June 11th is going to, and I'm not saying exactly on that day, because we know full moon energy can bleed backwards and forwards, right? So around the time of June 11th, something important is going to happen here. You're either going to see something very, very clearly, or there's going to be a happening. And as we go through these cards, you're going to see what this might be about. But pay very close attention to that time frame here, Gemini. Okay, so here are your legs. And as I'm telling everybody, every single month now, just in case this is your first time, your legs can go in order. First, second, third leg of the month, or could be out of order. I did receive a message indicating that someone's last leg happened on their first week of last month. So just keep in mind, these are legs. They can come in any order, okay? You have the first leg here. It says divine timing. Trust in divine timing. So time is definitely an issue here. And when I say an issue, it doesn't have to be a negative issue, but there is something going on. And that June 11th, around that time, keeps ringing in my head. Trust in divine timing. Yeah, and look at this. You have the 7 of Swords coming in reverse. Uranus in Aquarius. I mean, dishonesty uncovered. A revelation of the backstabbing. Who is holding the knife? It's going to be revealed to you. Trust in divine timing. You have the Emperor here in reverse. The Emperor is Aries energy, and it is coming in reverse. And we know that is a sort of someone using a position of power against you. It could be a manipulation of energy, but it's more like someone doing this to you, or trying to. I shouldn't say they're succeeding. They're trying to. And you have here the 9 of Swords in reverse. And the Nine of Swords is Mars and Gemini energy. And ironically, all this negative energy leads you to getting some sort of relief, right? By facing a truth, uncovering your eyes. You know, the Nine of Swords is usually someone sitting up in bed with their eyes, with their hands over their eyes. I don't want to see, I mean, bad dreams, anxiety, but hands are over their eyes. And when this is in reverse, you take your hands down and you're seeing something. You're seeing something. And no matter how disturbing it is, it does sort of put a pinprick in that balloon, and it relieves some anxiety surrounding this issue. When we add this up and we break it down, we get the moon, which is Cancer energy. And the moon is the hidden realm, right? There's something hidden. Something that is a sleight of hand that was going on. But it is being revealed to you here, Gemini. Okay. So here we have reunion, soul ties. You may be reunited with someone. Could very well be. Could be that you have a soul tie with a very benevolent human being. Could be a karmic tie too. Let's just look at these cards and see what we're looking at here. Okay. Yeah, you have the Ace of Swords coming in reverse. That is pure air energy, like yourself. It's an untruth. There is an untruth. It's something, it could be something that's not clear to you, at least not yet. But it is definitely a lie. There's a lie going on here, Gemini, and you have it in the center of your reading. Everything revolves around, you have the Seven of Cups, and it is a good card, right? It's Venus and Scorpio energy. It's a revelation, a reveal of choices, right? Could be confusion, and I don't blame you for being confused in this situation because it looks confusing to me. Let me see, put this back, but yeah, you are going to have a choice to make, and there are going to be choices presented to you. And that might lead to a little confusion about what you should choose. You have these two cards that came out together. You have the Knight of Cups and the Queen of Pentacles. Interesting, because it says soul ties here, right? So you have the Knight of Cups in reverse. The Knight of Cups in reverse is Venus and Pisces energy. Could be a rescinding of an offer. The Knight of Cups comes bearing an offer, bearing a cup, could be love, could be just an offer, right? It could be a tainted offer in reverse. It could be, yeah, someone's offering you something, but is it what it seems? Is it a manipulation? Is it something else? It could be some confusion here with this choice, but you have the Queen of Pentacles. Queen of Pentacles is kind of like the Empress light, right? Saturn and Capricorn energy, grounded queen, male or female, who's fertile and abundant. But this is a positive energy, right? Could be someone that comes off like this. There is a reunion here on the table, and I don't know. Listen, I would probably have a different take on this if you didn't have that Ace of Swords in reverse in the same pile. But just be very mindful. You know, what we said in the beginning, be very mindful, pay attention to everything that goes on. We add this column up and we break it down. We get Saturn, which is Capricorn, Aquarius energy, the Lord of Karma. Somebody's getting theirs. Somebody's getting some sort of karma dealt to them here, Gemini. Now, when we move to this last leg, fascinating, you have this toxic bond again. Interesting. I'm really looking at the card. I mean, it does look like someone's breaking out of a toxic bond, a toxic pattern. But when I look at this, doesn't this look so similar? Right? So similar. But in this picture, they're not bound anymore. I don't know. There is some sort of toxic situation, toxic partnership, toxic tie, toxic situation, something you're bound to, something that's weighing you down, something that's making it so you can't move. You can't do what you want to do, perhaps. I don't know. Let's look. I like this. You have the Magician, and the Magician is great energy here, Gemini. To me, it's Aquarius energy, but I have to tell you, a lot of people do believe this is Gemini. So you take it as you like to take it. Definitely, finally, some of your, and that is Mercury related, right? Like yourself. So finally, some of your mercurial energy is returning and you're getting things done. You now have the tools. The magician has the tools to get things done. And here you have the Four of Wands in reverse. The Four of Wands in reverse is Venus in Aries energy. Now, that can mean many things, but in this particular situation with this, particular situation, I'm looking at the Four of Wands, like it is a goal that you have met. There's something going on here that you've attained that you're not sharing with anyone. You're keeping it to yourself. And then you have the Lovers. And as we know, that is your energy. And when it's coming in the upright, it's beautiful energy. This is a really nice leg here, Gemini. And so I can't help but believe that you have broken some sort of toxic bond. I see that shackle is no longer there. There is something that you're being released from. But look at all this really good energy, right? It's more of your energy here in the last possible place. And you come up over and over again in this reading. The choices and issues, whatever it is that's going on, they have paid off. And fascinating, when we add this up and we break it down, we get the number 11 again, right? A road opener, a bridge energy. Okay, so let's look at your challenges. Although we've seen a lot of your challenges already, this will just probably culminate. It'll culminate whatever it is we've seen. So your challenge, you have Venus here, and what does that say on the card? It says offer. We talked about the offer, right? That night there is it's a challenge. Somebody's going to make you an offer. Someone's going to make you an offer. You really have to think about it. You really have to consider the offer. Consider it very carefully, okay? And fascinating, you have the 10 of Cups as a challenge. So this is what you want. I mean, this is what we all want, right? The happily ever after, being content, right? This is Neptune and Pisces energy, right? So it may seem elusive to you at times this month, but stay on target, okay? Stay on target. You have here the King of Pentacles in reverse, and that is Sun in Taurus, instability, right? You want the happily ever after. You're feeling unstable at various times this month. And another obstacle / challenge is this Knight of Swords. And that doesn't surprise me, right? It's Mercury and Gemini energy, fighting the desire to just forge forward without thought, without a plan, just to break out of those shackles, right? I get it, especially for your energy, Gemini, that's like being held down like that. Not a very good feeling, but try to refrain. That's a challenge this month. Try to hang in there, okay? When we add this column up and we break it down, we get Pluto, death and rebirth energy. Yeah, Pluto energy. So really think about everything, okay? Now, going to your, let me move this here. Going to your opportunities. Fascinating. I know I love to say that a lot, especially in your Gemini reading. You have this Neptunian energy, these rose-colored glasses. You're going to have the opportunity to be happy again, Gemini. And you may not see it through the confusion of some of the things that occur this month. You may not see it, but it is an opportunity. Wow. All right, I'm not going to jump ahead. It is an opportunity for you. You have the Three of Pentacles. And I'm trying to think. I'm pretty sure that Sagittarius pulled this card as an overarching card. I'm pretty sure. So you have the Three of Pentacles here, Mars and Capricorn energy, working with someone or a group of someone to get through what you are going through. There is a benevolent guide. There is a benevolent guide here for you. You have the Queen of Swords coming in reverse, Uranus and Libra energy. As an opportunity, you may get the chance to finally, before this month is over, speak your truth, right? Something that comes out pretty damn harsh. You may refrain, which is really important to do, But I think when the time is right, you're going to have the opportunity to tell someone exactly what you think of them. And what I love is your last card of the reading, your 9 of Cups. Venus in Cancer energy. This is the wish card. So you're going to be really okay here, Gemini, but damn. Okay, you have this 10 of Swords, the snake, the freaking earring of doom. You have the voodoo doll. You have all this crap, but you end up in such a fucking, excuse my language, such a good place. So please let this white rose be the charm you really remember, and please stay hopeful because it's so important, so important. Let's see if I can grab a couple of these decks. We're going to close out your reading, and then we're going to do your numerology for the month for Gemini, June 2025, please. 33. I am expanding. And 3 is the number of Jupiter, right? Any positive changes or projects you are considering right now will be worth your while. Expect that your power to manifest, magician, and create will be heightened. 33. Going to pull one more card from this deck. For Gemini, please. For Gemini, please. You got Taurus. Interesting. Well, think about this, Gemini. The Taurus, oof, quiet dogs. Taurus is the Hierophant. It is the Hierophant. Hold on one second. Sorry about that. Dog emergency. But you do have Taurus here very prominently on the table, along with the Hierophant. This is your benevolent guide or recommitment to yourself. But I really do think it's some sort of guide. Yeah. It says to find happiness, you must change your perspective or shift your beliefs and values and embrace the transformation. There is a transformation definitely going on here. And yeah, pretty good. Let's do your numerology. Okay, so we add up all the numbers in this reading. We break it back down. Interestingly enough, we get Mars. Right? Mars is very prominent in this reading. Mars is the planet of war, of aggression, right? It is also the Emperor here in reverse. There is someone using their position of power against you. And it could be behind the scenes here. It may be something you're very well aware of, right? You have, when we add, the number that came out the most was number 3. And that is Jupiter, Sagittarius energy, right? Sagittarius again. Wow. Interesting. Okay, so the planet that came out the most was a tie between Venus and Mars. And that really doesn't surprise me, right? Venus is the planet of love and money. And it's the Taurus Libra thing. Venus is also the Hierophant, just so you know, okay? Libra is also Venus as well. But you have Mars too coming in neck and neck, more Martian energy. The signs that we talked about was Cancer, Aries, Aquarius, Pisces, Taurus, Gemini, Scorpio, Sagittarius, Libra, and Capricorn. The sign that we discussed the most, believe it or not, was Gemini, and it doesn't always work out that way. In fact, it works out that way very seldom. So you came out a lot in this reading. And that is mercurial energy, right? And it is the runner-up here would be Aries, which is Mars energy. So you take it for what it's worth here. Be very careful. And please do let me know who you think this might be. I wish you nothing but the best. And I will see you next time, Gemini. Namaste.